Guys from Yonkers Voice, thanks again for watching. Today we have Mayor Mike Spano here with us. The point of this interview is to talk about his re-election campaign. As always, Yonkers Voice does not endorse or oppose any candidate. Our only objective is to bring you information to help you making the right decision on who you're going to cast your vote for. That's the whole point. Thank you, Mayor.
Nice to see you.
Always nice to see you. Mayor, we're going to go right into the subject of the interview. I'm not going to ask you the question that I always ask, why you're running.
Right.
We already know why. You know, you have some unfinished business, to fulfill. Yonkers has been on a path of progress, but probably you need another 4 years to finish it up. At least to leave it in a good shape.
Right. Well, you know what? We've done some really good things. I mean, I think about, excuse me, just 2 short terms ago when, there was the promise of the waterfront, but a lot of talk, but not real much happening. The promise of repairing our schools and building new schools, or increasing our grades, and again, but not a lot really happened. And the district, by the way, that the management of the district really wasn't reflective of the kids that they were educating. And so, and of course, the city was under a Department of Justice investigation. The police department was, and so there was issues around policing and crime. And so, to be able to tackle those 3 areas and go at the economic development first, making sure that we were able to make Yonkers a place that developers wanted to come, where they felt comfortable coming here, making an investment. That if they made that investment, they felt that they would get a good return on their investment, on their investment dollars. And so, to have now almost $3.5 billion of economic development happening in and about the city. I mean, not just the waterfront. Today was on Tuckahoe Road for the announcement of the UPS. Yes, and is a significant company coming to Yonkers with good paying jobs, middle class paying jobs. They're going to hire additional people, and anyone who's interested in working for UPS should apply for a job.
I'm going to apply. But Mayor, before we go into the economic part of it, let's start by telling us, if I am one of the voters, why should I choose Mayor Mike Spano instead of Mike DeGiorgio or the write-in, the new young man that is also running, Prince Robinson, that is running for mayor? What's the difference? Why should I vote?
The difference is this. I think if you like where Yonkers has been going over the past 8 years, if you like the direction of the city, and you think that we are different, that the city has turned the corner, and that there's economic development going on, their schools are getting better, and crime has been reduced, then I just ask that you would support my candidacy, because I've worked especially hard for the people of Yonkers. I mean, I put in long days. I'm there. I'm available. I do what you need to do in order for us to move the city forward. And I do so not by myself, but with a tremendous team of people that are there, committed to the same thing that I'm committed to, which is leaving our city in a better position than which we found it.
How did you find Yonkers? Let's rewind to 8 years ago. How did you find Yonkers?
No, I found Yonkers as a city full of a lot of promise, and as always, but yet not having the promise fulfilled. A lot of it was done because of the inability of some of the elected to get the economic development moving. There was a move to put a ball field on Chicken Island, but we weren't really focusing on our true asset, which was the waterfront. And so Chicken Island never really moved. So we focused our efforts on the waterfront, and now Chicken Island was sold for $16 million to a developer who's going to put a more residential, a hotel, and retail on that property. So I found a city that was under a Department of Justice investigation for its police department for being, somewhat aggressive and maybe some racism, and knew that I had to work hand in glove with the community first, with the Justice Department, because of course we needed their input, and the City Council, and we were able to get the Justice Department to agree not to put Yonkers under a court-ordered settlement, not to give us a court monitor of any type, and they allowed us to make 100 different changes to the department. And as a result, what happened was the crime rate reduced by over 45%, and complaints against our officers are down 85%. That's the type of thing we found when I was, wanting to run for mayor. The Board of Education was the same way.
Mayor, before we go to the education, let's stick around for a few minutes on policing, DOJ, lawsuit, and all that. There were some conditions, that's okay, there were some conditions not to have a court-ordered monitoring on the Yonkers PD. What were some of those conditions?
Some of the conditions were very simple conditions. They were name tags below the plate, below the badge. They were changes in our policy, in our work policy, changes in when a police officer engages a young group of youths that happen to be African American, and if there's an interchange, making sure that the supervisor will come on the scene. There were 100 different changes to the way our canine dogs, approach a perpetrator. Instead of grabbing someone, kind of ripping the arm off, our dogs are trained to grab and hold. And these just to hold the perpetrator there. And so these are some of the changes that we negotiated back and forth with the Justice Department. And the Justice Department was happy. There were cities like Baltimore where they actually went in with a court monitor, and they did make those changes. They didn't do that here in Yonkers because they were confident in the administration, they were confident in the approach that we had, and they were willing to allow us to just sign a contract and say, okay, you know what, we agree to fulfilling these principles to make sure that we have a general policing department that is interactive with the community, that is proactive in protecting the community, no matter where they're from, no matter east side or west side, north or south, or no matter whether they're white, black, or or what have you. It's really just about policing the city and keeping the city safe.
But Mayor, racism, you also mentioned racism. Racism, to resolve racism, is not just a tag, it's not just education. Racism, it's an issue with the mindset. I don't think you can make a person non-racist just because it wears a tag. It's mindset. What is the Yonkers PD commissioner was appointed under your administration? What is the YPD doing to filter out some racists within the police department? Because I believe that we had a very good police department. But there is good and bad in every single organization. There is good priests, good doctors, bad doctors. But we have to find a way of eliminating the not so good ones. Mm-hmm. What is the process?
Well, the one thing is, remember, we have to get at our officers at a very early age, early on. So now they've instituted sensitivity training in our police academy, and so our officers are learning about learning about racism, they're learning about some of the issues that have been presented to the community. The effort is obviously for our police officers to understand, to have a better understanding of a community before they go and they police that community. It's not it's not easy, but I think that at the end of the day, I think the interactions that our police department has with its residents are overall very good. Our complaints against our police officers are down 85%. We don't have many complaints excessive force against our officers, especially in a big city like this. And so, and that says a lot about the police officers, men and women. It says a lot about the fact that they're a much more diverse department than they've ever been. And you know, do we have more work to do? Yeah. But
There's always room for improvement.
I think society, we have more work to do in having a better understanding of the plight, especially the minority community. Listen, I need to learn more, and that's part of the process. But at least the effort is there, and the results are showing up in the numbers.
All right, we have a few topics, so we don't want to dwell too much in one. The new generation of police officers will make a difference, because now it's young kids, different mindset, so it's different. Now let's move into education. Will we have a better education going forward? Because we had a problem with the formula. How is that going?
The formula is still a problem, and you know that's been a problem for 50 years. It was a problem when I was in the assembly, and we were not able to fix it at the time. It's a problem today, and it's a problem because you know there is a belief that Yonkers is rich, and because we have higher property wealth than they do up in Buffalo, Rochester, or Syracuse, and we do, but we have higher cost of living, much higher cost of living than they currently have. So as a result, what happens? Well, we pay more for our cops, we pay more for our teachers, we may pay more for our trash pickup. I mean, that's just what happens. And of course, when you do that, that runs up the credit card tab. So now you have a situation that we're house rich, but cash poor.
Yeah, Mayor, I don't want to cut you off, but we all know the problem. What's lacking is the solution. You know, we need to know what is Yonkers, you will be, you know, if you are re-elected, what will be your solution?
Well, the solution is this, to get more money out of Albany, but that doesn't seem to be happening. So how do we deal with the problem is not necessarily the solution. How we deal with the problem is, you know, we continue to build our schools back up slowly. When I first became mayor, don't forget, we had no pre-Cat. We now have pre-Cat. We have universal pre-Cat. When I first became mayor, we had very little music, sport, or arts even speak of. Now we have much of those programs have been restored, a little bit at a time, all right? One foot in front of the other. We have put more money into our education. Well, the city side, last year we put $10 million in addition to the maintenance of effort, which is a huge increase. We were able to merge 5 departments with the city side of the ledger, saving $10 million a year for the Board of Education. The Board of Education, they take that $10 million a year, put it back into the schools. We have been lobbying Albany to get us additional funding to help us deal with our infrastructure crisis that we have in the schools, and we'll talk more about that. So we're managing the underfunding, but that doesn't fix the problem. The only fix comes from Albany, because you know until they recognize that Yonkers needs additional funding, the taxpayers are going to continue to suffer. Look at it this way: Buffalo, Rochester, true sister city, same size city, same size school district, right? Their maintenance of effort. People always ask, "What's the maintenance of effort? What does that mean?" Well, that means what we, the taxpayers, we, the Yonkers local taxpayers, we put into our schools. We put into our schools over $260 million. Rochester puts in about $120 million. So what does that mean? Well, that means that Rochester has so much more money to use to build firehouses, rebuild police departments, buy new police cars, fix parks and repair parks. We have to put our money entirely into our schools, and it makes it that much more difficult. Now, we're happy to do so. We want to take care of our kids. We want our kids to get a good education. But that's the type of underfunding I'm always talking about. We deal with it by putting more money into our schools and getting more money incrementally from Albany. That's how we deal with the problem. And it's had a positive effect. Like I said, our graduation rates are up from 72% to 88% this year. I mean, that is near 90% is more of a suburban number rather than an urban number, because when you look at New York City, Rochester, Buffalo, and Syracuse, they're not at 88%, but we are, and we're one of the big five. So we have taken the dollars that we've gotten from Albany, and we appreciate what the delegation does for us. But we take the dollars that we get from Albany. We working with the superintendent, working with the trustees. We make the best investment we can, and with our teachers, our grades are way ahead of those of the Big Five. I hate to say it, but Albany ought to do a case study on what's happening in Yonkers, because we don't get enough money, yet our kids are outperforming the other Big 5, 6,
No,
the other Big
Mayor,
4, 6.
if I was to ask you, well, I am asking, what it is that you think that on the next 4 years, if you are elected, what is your main goal to accomplish?
We have to get these schools built. That's a huge, there's a huge goal for me. I'd like to get the Yonkers Raceway transition done. In other words, transitioning it from the casino it is today to a full gaming facility.
How is the licensing going?
That's going to be a battle, again, with the state capital. Hopefully that we can change the governor's mind. You get the governor interested in seeing Yonkers get a full gaming. This is what scares me. Here you have Yonkers, New York, and Yonkers, by all counts, everyone says Yonkers Raceway is going to be a success story. When they get full gaming, everybody's going to want to go there, and if Yonkers gets sports betting, a tremendous number of people are going to bet there, and that means revenues for the city, revenues for New York State. But New York State looks at it cockeyed. They look at it and they go, Yonkers will be a score, but upstate, let's give it to upstate first, and because we give it to Yonkers first, upstate will never get off the ground, right? That's what they say. So let's give it upstate first, and then we do Yonkers. But what they don't realize is that as we're sitting around, New Jersey can very easily put a casino like Yonkers in the swamps of Jersey. And they just built that big, huge center. What do they call it, the American or something? I mean, I looked at that the other day, the grand opening last week. I said, oh my God, that is a casino. Just waiting to happen. One change in the legislature, one change in their law, and they got a casino on our doorstep. And you know what happens? And Yonkers becomes a second-class casino. And that's what we shouldn't have happen. And shame on New York State if they allow that to happen. Yonkers Raceway has the ability to score big time for the taxpayers of this region. And it's frustrating for me to sit back and listen to Albany say over and over and over again, no, not now, maybe in 2 years. No, not now. Let's get upstate going first. No, you know what? You have the ability to do something really great for this city. Do it now, and stop giving us the excuses.
So you think that is one of your biggest obstacles right now, getting this license, going for full
We
gear?
are going to push as heavy as we can. The obstacle is the license. That is the obstacle. And it really is in the governor and the legislature's hands. Hopefully we're able to convince them to do this. What happens if we become full gaming? We go from 1,200 employees to 6,000 employees. We go from 19.5 million to probably 30 or 40 million in additional aid to the city. And of course, New York State will continue to get at least what they're getting now, if not more. So it's something I want to see get done. And I don't want to see another mayor try to do it at this particular juncture, because I got 20 years of service in the legislature, so I understand how it works. I understand, I think best on how to maneuver with the governor, the assembly, and the Senate. I'm hopeful that, and don't forget, after we finally get that agreement done, we still have to do a community benefits agreement. So we have to find out are you going to hire our kids? Are you going to invest more money in our schools? Are you going to do some job training for the kids that live in Yonkers? And so
It's a whole package.
Yeah, there's a whole package in it, and I really feel that I want to be a part of that transition. And so, like I said before, building the schools, the transition to Yonkers Raceway, and of course, I want to see MGM. I'm sorry, I want to see Lionsgate.
And how is that going? Has anything officially?
Yes, we finally got a look at their plans. I don't think they made them public yet, but they came in, they made those plans available to the building department, to the planning department. So they're looking, excuse me. So they're looking for the reaction of our planning commissioner and our building commissioner to see what are their obstacles that they need to come up with, that they need to deal with. And hopefully, we'll be able to get something to the public soon. But I like what I saw. It's a beautiful proposal. And it means jobs, it means economic development. And you know what? It's good for Yonkers because
Much brighter
we're going to
future.
have, Yonkers now has to add to a casino. Because every once in a while people will say, well, why come to Yonkers? Well, we have a casino in Yonkers.
Mhm.
And now we're going to have film studios too.
Exactly. Now, Mayor, what do you think, or what would you like your legacy to be in Yonkers?
That I've calmed the waters, that I've been able to get all sides to work together, that I got people to believe in our city and to be proud to say they live in Yonkers, New York. If I've accomplished that, then I've accomplished everything I want to accomplish.
And if you had to say anything to our viewers, to the Yonkers, why they should vote for you, what makes Mike Spano the right man for the job? You already basically said all that you have accomplished, but let's just take a minute to compare you to the others that are running against you. So our community can say, okay, he deserves another 4 years, let's vote for him or not vote for him.
Right. No, I just hope that the people of Yonkers, when they look at my candidacy and look at the other candidates, that they take into account where Yonkers was, where Yonkers is today, and where I hope to take Yonkers in the future. I work hard for you. I'll continue to dedicate my time, and my commitment is to the betterment of our city.
Now, Mayor, I feel like you are a very approachable mayor. Every time I have tried to speak with you in interviews, I never had an issue. If a resident of Yonkers wants to reach you, anyone can request an interview. I know you're a busy man and you cannot be sitting here all day long taking interviews, but are you reachable? And what is the criteria?
Well, you know what I always tell people is this, because people occasionally will say to me, God, I called City Hall and I couldn't get to you. And you know what, there are sometimes many between the mayor's helpline and between the Office of Constituent Service, you might get 300-400 calls in a day. And so, the staff tries to decipher what they can take care of. But I always tell everybody, you want to talk to the mayor, you want to speak to me, you need to tell that person on the phone, I want to talk to the mayor. And they will get that message to me, and they'll get a return phone call from me too.
Well, Alberto Velasquez, you heard from the mayor. This was your question. How can I reach the mayor? Well, you heard it. You call the number and you say, I want to speak with Mayor Mike Spano. And you might have that interview granted. Mayor, what about for the last 5 minutes, because you don't have all day, I know you have a lot of business to take care of. In regards to all this construction going on, a lot of progress has been made in Yonkers, but I still hear one problem here. A lot of people from out of state working on those constructions. I'm not saying that you're going to put somebody who does not know how to do something as an electrician. You have to be able to do the job that you're applying for, but I see a lot of people from out of state. And I see a lot of people from Yonkers capable of doing those jobs, but not being hired. What is the problem?
We push real hard. We push for project labor agreements. We push very, very hard on the developers. We ask them to hire locally as best they can. Remember, we're subject to a lot of laws that protect developers. And so when we say, well, we just want you to hire people from Yonkers, well, we can't say that, right? We're not allowed to say that. We can say, we can say you can hire from the metropolitan area. Well, as soon as you say that, now you're hiring from New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, right? That's the metropolitan area. And so you'll see these places. And so, we live right here in the center. So, we push as hard as we can to try to get local labor. And sometimes we're very successful. Other times we're not as successful as we like to be. But we have a tremendous number of development happening here. And, it's once I, as the mayor, am able to get the proposals out there, and it's up to labor leaders to kind of negotiate with the developers and hopefully be able to land some of the work. Very often they're successful, but it's in the private market, it's not always successful, right? If it was building a school, it had to be local. It had to be local, it had to be PLAs. That's all in the law, but it's not in the law in the private sector. Private money can still hire who they want. And so that's the dance that we have. And so I try and use and leverage tax breaks to try and get more local hires.
Okay. Now, Mayor, I have to throw this one out. I remember maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, I interviewed you, and I asked about term limits. You said, no way, man, it's not happening.
Yeah, I did.
Right? But you changed. We knew because we have our very reliable sources.
Yeah, but just so you know, if that was a source, because I didn't know at the time either.
Maybe you were the source. I'm just kidding. Mayor, but what made you change? Okay, and I understand the term limits, it's a term, but actually there is no such thing as third term, fourth term, because you can vote anybody out at any time you want.
You can.
Okay?
You can.
Even if you have, 5 terms. If I'm not happy with you at the second, I don't vote you for the third.
Yeah.
Right? So what made you change?
It's amazing. It's the job of being mayor is a tough job. It takes a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. Most days are good days, but you do have days that are tough days, and you have to sometimes make some very tough decisions. But I love the job. There's no better place that no better position I can think of where you can actually make real changes for the people that you live with and love, right? So I was pretty thoroughly convinced that I'd done my thing. I was in 2 terms was good enough. When the council presented the 3rd term option, going to 3 terms. Yes. I did some soul searching, and I looked at things like MGM and Lionsgate and some of the other developments that were happening in the city, and I said, I want to see this through. And so I changed my mind, and I really felt that I was 2 terms was enough at that time. Now I feel that I have the energy and the wherewithal to see the 3rd term. And I don't suggest a 4th term. I don't think anybody is. But 3rd term is, if the public will have me, I'm willing to stay on and finish the job we started.
Well, on this note, we want to come to a conclusion. November 5th, you will make the decision if Mayor Mike Spano deserves the 3rd term. You have sent about 70 or 80% of support from the people of Yonkers, but November 5th is the day, is the D-Day. That's when the decision will be made. So Mayor Spano, I'm going to give you the opportunity to do a closure, and we'll do it.
All right. Well, let me just again say thank you for this interview. This was it's a great opportunity for me to go out there and to speak to you and to let you know the things that are important. Obviously, the things we've done over the past 8 years. And Yonkers is a city that we all should be very, very proud of. I am. And it's a city that has tremendous potential, and we've yet to reach our true potential. We have a lot more work to do. We need your help and your support, and most importantly, your vote on November 5th, or any day leading up to, I'd be able to continue as your mayor. So I'm asking for your support, and I hope you'll give it to me so I can continue as mayor of Yonkers.
On this note, we came to a closure. Don't forget, November 5th, you have the last word. Thank you.